Have you ever found yourself in a text conversation wondering if the person on the other end is being completely truthful or hiding something? In the world of digital communication, spotting a liar over text can be a challenging yet essential skill. The absence of face-to-face cues adds a layer of complexity to detecting deception. But fear not, because in this video we're delving into the fascinating realm of psychology to equip you with the insights and strategies to spot a liar over text. From subtle linguistic cues to psychological patterns, we'll unravel the intricacies that reveal when someone might not be being entirely truthful in your digital exchanges. So, if you've ever questioned the authenticity of messages you receive, dive in. Number 1. Overcomplicating things. Ever felt like someone was turning a simple story into an epic saga? If you find someone overcomplicating a straightforward answer, pay attention to the words they use and the flood of details they provide. Chronic fibbers tend to jazz up their stories with lots of colorful details, making them sound like a blockbuster movie. They even throw in small, true details to make things seem legit. It's like adding spice to a dish to make it more convincing. They believe that inundating their story with intricate details makes it more convincing, as the listener may be less likely to question numerous specifics. This tactic isn't just for minor untruths, even seasoned liars employ it. They don't just sprinkle a few details, they unleash lengthy tales without a valid reason. So, if you spot an abundance of unnecessary details in a message, be aware. Number 2. Sweet talk, concealing deceit. Flattery is a classic diversionary tactic that text liars often use. Imagine this, you ask a simple question like, "I saw you at the bar last night, I waved and you didn't respond." Instead of a straightforward answer, they start showering you with compliments like, "Hey, I saw you too, you looked pretty in black. By the way, I think black really suits you." But here's the catch, they're not just being friendly. It's a sneaky move they use to control the conversation and guide it in their preferred direction. By saying flattering things, they aim to make you feel good. When you feel good, you might be less likely to question their real motives. It's like a dance where they charm you with compliments while hiding their true intentions. So, if someone suddenly bombards you with compliments, be on guard. They might be pulling a trick to divert your attention. Number 3. Qualifying statements. Have you ever noticed someone adding a bunch of qualifiers to their statements? It's like a verbal safety net they weave to escape accountability. Picture asking someone if they saw your text about the meeting. The liar, using qualifiers, would respond with something like, "Oh, I probably missed it in the flood of messages. You know how chaotic my inbox gets." Here, they're avoiding a direct response by blaming a chaotic inbox, but they're not admitting that they missed it on purpose or ignored it. Liars love using qualifying statements. They are the escape hatch in their verbal maze. Instead of a straightforward answer, they lace their response with conditions, uncertainties, or excuses. It's a strategic move to create wiggle room, making it harder to pin them down on the accuracy of their words. So, when someone starts drowning their statements in qualifiers, be alert. They might be constructing a linguistic escape route to slip away from the truth. Number 4. The never lie claim. How a thief won't outright admit to stealing, a liar won't confess to lying. Instead, they often cloak themselves in the language of honesty, repeatedly asserting phrases like "believe me" or "truthfully." Liars use these words as a shield, creating a sort of protective barrier. In a genuine conversation, if someone is really being truthful, they wouldn't feel the need to repeat it constantly, right? But here's the truth. Liars often use this tactic to throw you off. A liar would text something like, "Honestly, I took care of it. You can trust me. It's in good hands, believe me." With each repetition, they're trying to steer your attention away from the real questions and make you buy into their story. The more they keep emphasizing their honesty through texts, the more it might make you wonder if they're actually being truthful. So, if you pick up on someone bombarding your texts with these honesty phrases, stay alert. They could be trying to weave a web of deception right into the conversation. Number 5. Tenses in tumult. When someone spins a story from thin air, their linguistic slip-ups often reveal more than intended. When people start creating stories in text messages, the way they play with words can be a dead giveaway. It's like a little dance between different tenses. One moment they're talking about something that happened in the past, and then, whoops, they're jumping into the present and back. When someone is making up a story, their brain is going into overdrive to make it sound believable. But in the midst of this mental juggle, making sure their sentences are grammatically on spot takes a back seat. This is when you might notice them stumbling over tenses, a linguistic hiccup that can signal their story isn't as genuine as they want it to appear. Unless someone is regularly mixing up tenses, a sudden change should set off a mental alarm. Number 6. Innocence to defense. A simple question turns into a battle. Ever tossed a straightforward question into the conversation only to witness an unexpected surge of defensiveness? Well, there's more to this reaction than meets the eye. Here's the deal. When someone feels a bit shaky about being honest, a basic question suddenly becomes a perceived threat. They might act hurt and ask questions like, "Why would you even say that? You know me better than that." It's as if you've accidentally stumbled upon a hidden landmine. The person on the receiving end throws up their defenses, trying to divert the conversation away from the truth they're desperately trying to keep under wraps. Think of it as a protective shield they put up. They're not just guarding one piece of information. It's a strategic move to keep the entire story safe. The more defensive they get, the closer you get to the core of what they're trying so hard to hide. Number 7. Abruptly end the conversation. Suddenly, your texting partner is on the express train to somewhere else, leaving your inquiry dangling in the digital abyss. What just happened? This abrupt exit is a classic evasion tactic. When a question puts someone under the microscope, a liar might opt for brevity and vagueness. The rush to conclude the conversation becomes their escape route, leaving your question unanswered and your suspicions lingering in the air. Consider this scenario. You've hit a nerve, and instead of engaging in an open dialogue, they opt for a speedy departure. But why the sudden urgency? It's a strategic move to create distance, buying time and space to craft a response, or to avoid the discomfort of facing the truth. In such instances, the unanswered question becomes a signpost, pointing towards potential deception. The remedy? Shift the conversation from the digital realm to face-to-face interaction. Number 8. Avoidance of first-person pronouns. Ever notice someone narrating a story but dancing around using I or me? It's like they're playing hide and seek with personal pronouns, and there's a reason behind this linguistic evasion. When people distance themselves from I, it's often a subtle attempt to detach from the tale. It's as if they're creating a bit of space between themselves and the story, providing a buffer zone for potential inconsistencies. This avoidance of personal pronouns can signal a reluctance to fully open up to the narrative, leaving room for skepticism. Picture this. You ask a friend about their weekend, and instead of saying, "I went to the park," they say, "went to the park." The missing I isn't just a grammatical slip. It might be a strategic move to keep the story at arm's length. The more elusive they are with personal pronouns, the more you might want to dig into the details they're trying to sidestep. Number 9. Abuse of empathetic language. Empathy, a cornerstone of effective testing, becomes a double-edged sword when used by a liar. While empathy itself is not inherently negative, a sudden surge of empathetic language demands cautious scrutiny. When someone is lying, they may deploy extra emotional expressions instead of providing detailed answers. Imagine asking yourself a straightforward question like, "Where have you been?" Now, instead of answering, you're met with a response drenched in empathetic language. They might say, "You think too much, and I understand your trust issues. I was right here with you." Here, the use of comforting language becomes a tool to redirect your attention and soothe any suspicions you might harbor. It's as if they're wrapping their response in a warm blanket of reassurance, hoping you'll cozy up and not probe deeper. So, next time you hear, "Don't worry, I'm here with you," pay attention. Empathy might be a clever disguise, veiling a narrative they'd rather not reveal in its entirety. Number 10. Texts back slower. In the fast-paced world of digital communication, the speed of a response can speak volumes. Basically, writing a convincing lie requires careful consideration and composition. As the seconds tick away, it's not that they're too busy. They're immersed in creating a narrative that seamlessly intertwines with their previous messages. Even after a few minutes, the reply doesn't ping your phone instantly. Instead, it arrives with a deliberate delay. It's not a glitch in the digital realm. It's a strategic pause for them to mold a response that aligns with the web of deception they're spinning. So, if the pace of replies slows down, don't just blame a busy schedule. Consider it a subtle cue that, behind those delayed messages, a well-crafted lie might be waiting to unfold. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.